Hello Night Stars! In today's video we're actually going to be talking about something that has been on my feed for so long, and I actually didn't want to talk about it because I don't condone this, and I think it is just a weird lifestyle and behavior, but it's been on my feed for so many months now that I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna rant, I'm gonna talk about it and just get it out and then never talk about this ever again. But in today's video we're actually going to be talking of the food choice of eating rotten meat. I know it has a name and we're gonna get into it more, but basically I think they're called high food or something like that. I haven't really watched the videos exactly because I wanted to get like like realist reaction to these, because I don't want to get spoiled of the spoiled. I have to warn you that the food is quite disgusting, because it is like rotten, spoiled food like for weeks, and it does not look great. So if you're like really easily triggered by like food related stuff or gross stuff, I don't recommend you watching this video, because I don't think I'm gonna censor it, because I want you to suffer with me because I have to watch it too. So I've always known about these kind of like raw high food, I think they're called high food or something like that, for a year or so, but I never really dove into it because I thought it was just, it's pretty stupid to be eating like raw meat and raw stuff, so I didn't want to like indulge in it. But a person that is named Dandy Demon actually talked about a couple that we're gonna get into that is like making their entire Instagram page about this lifestyle or choice, food choice. And I've seen this couple of times, but I just, I don't want to indulge in it, but she makes like really good points that made me go like, I might want to like get a more deep dive into them. So this is what she has to say.
There's this couple on Reels that document their raw meat eating journey, but it's not just raw meat. It's fermented meat. And by fermented, I don't mean it's like pickled or something. They just stick it in a jar and eat it later. Here they are eating 16-day-old rotten beef to heal their depression, which is not a thing, by the way.
How is it?
Oh, and it's not just raw beef. It's raw chicken, too. And if you're like, hey, Dandy, that sounds like a bad idea. It was a bad idea, because now they have self-diagnosed meningitis. That's right, meningitis. And they're posting little infographics about their meningitis. But you might be thinking, did they go to a doctor about this? What did they do about their meningitis?
I survived meningitis. But hang on. Not only did I survive meningitis, I did it without taking any medication. I never even dared to go to the hospital. Not only that, but I only consumed raw foods when I had it. And by raw foods, I don't mean vegetables or fruits. I mean raw pork. Yes, raw pork.
She's trying to heal her meningitis by eating raw pork.
I found out that this couple named is Scott and Layla. He has been doing this for a long time. I think years, almost like a couple of years he has been doing this, and he actually made her taste raw food. It's not just her who he makes them try this food's life choice. It's so disgusting, because not only like does he do this to himself, like eating, like she said, like fermented rotten beef and chicken and all that, but he also makes other people try it. And it might, if you think about it, it might not just be that he force them into it. I think it's more like he just wants them to try it, and it's their kind of choice to be doing that. But I really just can't believe that somebody would want to do that, like actively say yes to him asking if you want to try some. Because if somebody came up to me, or if my friend came to me and said, hey, I have a new food lifestyle choice that I will only be eating this high meat, I think they're called, I would be like, okay, like, what is going on? And if they tell me, do you want to try it? I'm like, hell to the no. Like, have you smelt the smell of a rotten meat? Like, have you ever had the meat too long in the fridge, and then you take it out? It is sour, it is stinky. And imagine, like, he lets this out in the sun, okay? And we're gonna get into it more. He has been doing this for a long time, and he has made other people try it. And one of the people, Lila, his girlfriend, is also getting into this lifestyle. And like she said, she got, I don't remember what she said it was called, but I didn't even know it existed, because I never thought somebody would actually eat raw meat like in that way. Like, stunned. Okay, I'm stunned. So the first video that we're gonna be watching, it is him talking about why he eats these fermented food, because I really want to like get to know his perspective, like in why he chooses to do so. Because in my own perspective, I'd be like, I would never do that, right? Because we all heard how, you know, eating raw food is dangerous. And I know in some countries, like in Thailand, for example, where I'm from, we do eat raw beef. Like, it is like in a cuisine, we do eat raw food, right? But there's a difference between like fresh meat that is cooked, or not cooked, but eaten right away, and food that is like out in this, like in a jar. He put the meat in a jar and then put it in this, out in the sun for like a few days, a few weeks, maybe months. And then he lets like insects and flies come inside that jar and lay their eggs in it. And it's a huge different thing, right? It's a huge different thing that is dangerous. And yeah, the raw food and stuff like that in cuisines, like in cultures, food, it is also a risk, but that risk is much lower than what he does. I'm not gonna say like raw food isn't like delicious, or if it's not common in different countries. It is, but this is a totally different level. And you don't usually eat raw meat every single day. You kind of eat it like a celebration, or every now and then. He eats this every day. Like, this is his food choice. This is like his, in my case, like rice. Like, I eat rice every day. He eats this high meat every day. Okay, so we're just gonna hear him out, what he has to say about this.
Why don't I get sick eating this fermented rotten meat? Well, because I know how to ferment it properly to get the benefits. Why do I ferment my meat? Well, basically you're digesting it in a jar like it digests in the body, and when you digest it long enough, it breaks down to a way where it goes straight to the brain and feeds the brain nervous system, makes you happy, and it's also like the ultimate probiotic.
The first thing I want to know what he's saying is that the thing is that if you put it in a mason jar or jar, it breaks down like the body does. Inside our stomach bag, whatever the hell, I don't know the term, I'm not a medicine person, there is acid that breaks it down. When you put it in a jar, all it does, it's getting it to rot. It's not breaking down like the stomach is doing, and it is not doing what you think it's doing, especially when you just let it out in the sun. and let flies come in. That's not happening in our stomach bags, okay? And second of all, when he says that it breaks down so they can go directly to the brain, why would I want food to go directly to my brain? You know what I mean? Like, what benefit do you think it does when it goes straight to the brain if it's not like bacteria going straight to your brain? You know what I mean? Like, nutrients doesn't really go to your brain most of the time. It usually goes to your body. Your brain is a different, like, it's I'm not a medical student, but if you can understand what I'm saying, like, what we eat usually comes out in our like skin or body and stuff like that. It's not really has to do anything with our brain. Yes, our brain nutrients and it needs things to function, but it's not really the main reason why we eat. It's for our body to function. I don't know why you want your food to go straight to your brain. It should go to every other part of your, body, because that's where it's needed the most.
I usually have 1 spoonful of the fermented meat every day, and that's all you need. The fermented meat, aka the high meat, isn't necessarily a normal part of the diet. It's just if you really want to make faster progress and feel extra good, you can eat it, but you don't have to eat the fermented meat to do the diet.
He might not be eating like me eating rice every day, like I'm eating a lot of rice, but he's eating 1 spoon per day at least. And then I'm gonna have the question of, okay, if you eat this fermented food, by the way, it's not really fermented, and you eat 1 spoon, you would think like, oh, maybe it doesn't do much. It does. 1 spoon a day, like raw meat, no, it doesn't. Like, even if he doesn't eat it like a meal every single day, it still impact his body every single day, because every single day the body has to battle the food. You know how exhausting that must be for the body? Like, no, even my case still stand. Is what I'm trying to say.
What my diet consists of is 2 fresh, never frozen raw meat meals a day. I have about a half gallon of raw milk, 6 to 18 raw eggs. I usually have fruit only once a day, or lots of the time I go several days without fruit anyway. And there's also lots of raw butter, cream, and cheese. You have vegetable juice and unheated honey. Everything I know regarding health comes from Agenus Wunderplanets, and he's the only person I listen to when it comes to nutrition. His books have hundreds of recipes and remedies for all sorts of sicknesses and diseases, and just delicious recipes in general for the diet. How I started the diet is I used to be vegan. I did lots of fasting, and when I was studying fasting, one of the guys ate raw meat in his videos, and it fascinated me. So I watched a bunch of videos about it, and then I decided that's what I wanted to try. So I tried the diet, and it worked amazingly, and it absolutely changed my life, and I've never looked back. And I never cheat at all. I never break the rules, and I trust Agenus wholeheartedly when it comes to health and nutrition.
Okay, I don't know who this person he's talking about is, and I'm not gonna go so deep into it because my main focus is to understand. I try to understand, just trying to grasp the concept of this lifestyle choice. And already on the point when he tells us that he only listened to this guy, it's like, okay, like, we obviously he's not gonna listen to the comments or any of us, so it doesn't really matter, right? For him, it's his life choice, but for me, it's basically like I'm listening to this, I'm just like, what the hell's going on, right? I need to make a video of this, right? Because like, this is insane in my brain. I cannot comprehend it. Like, people choose this, right? He did eat the fermented meat every day, spoonful. But what he eats as food, it is raw meat, like raw frozen meat. And it's like raw milk and the whole thing that I don't even want to get more into, because I don't want to get more into it because there is such a deep dive into that sort of lifestyle too. Like, what is the question will like be like, what is raw food? What is raw milk? What is raw egg? What is, like, when I hear these words being told, being told by these people who who lives in this lifestyle, I'm asking myself what is so good with raw I like food, because they see it as like a good thing, like raw meat, raw milk, raw egg, raw, like, you know, all that, because it's not like processed. And I have a whole, like, it's a whole other thing too, like processed and unprocessed food, like what's the difference. And this whole concept of like processed food is bad for you and stuff like that, it's a whole different thing that I want to get into. I just hearing about it, like what he says, just like what he eats on the day, it's just, for me, it's such a strange thing, and also makes me like question why like raw food, why it's so so loved by these people. Yeah, it's also the whole thing with like raw milk, which means it's not like, what's it called, like what's it called, I don't remember the English name, but like not heated up, like not warmed up, it's just straight from the cow. And that seems for some people to be a good thing. A whole new world, all right, a whole new world. I can make videos out of these because it's a deep dive for sure. Something I've noticed with these people is that people who goes from, for example, like carnivore diet, usually they went from like vegan to carnivore diet. And I just ask myself, like, why is it that you cannot have like a middle ground on your diet, your food choices? Like going from, I know for a fact, like vegan you can live like that, but there's so much like extra you need to you need to be aware of, take care of, in order for you to feel healthy and better, right? But carnivore diet isn't like any better because you're getting all this extra fat and extra, like, it's so much, right? Like we all know that eating a lot of meat is not the way to go. And, not eating meat at all is gonna have its own issues. We're gonna see when he invites somebody to try this raw meat for the first time. And this is like one of the first few videos of his that he started to eat like raw meat. And this was a year ago. So this 2025, this video was 2024.
Smell it, put your nose up to it.
Yeah, it smells good. Like I said, it's like ceviche. It just kind of looks like raw tuna a little bit. All right, let's try some. I'm gonna get a little bit of everything. Yeah, it's like ceviche.
You'd feel better if you eat a lot of fat with it.
Butter. That's so interesting.
With the spoon, just go for it?
Yep.
Delicious.
Yeah?
Raw milk for the first time.
What do you say about it?
It's very sweet.
Is it good?
You drink it all.
Do you like the raw milk?
This is my third cup having of it right now
Hey.
because it's so good.
Okay, so I remember now, it's a pasteurized milk. That is like what people don't want to drink for some reason. And raw milk is just straight up from the cow, which is illegal in some states in US, I believe. I live in Sweden, and I have never, ever thought of eating or drinking raw milk, and I have no clue what our law says about milk, but I just can't comprehend this. Anyways, the food looked fine. It wasn't like rotten or anything. it was just like raw meat. And like I said, in some countries we do eat raw meat, and it wasn't just pure raw meat. They had like extra stuff in it, like ingredients. It was like raw onions and other stuff, salt, pepper, you know, it's gonna taste fine. So we're gonna see one of the raw chicken recipe, and I will never ever in my life make this recipe, but if anybody does it, I'm not condoning this by the way, but if anybody have tasted it before or I should try it before, let me know what it tastes like, because I will never chicken, I don't deal with that, okay? I don't fuck with that.
Today I am making a raw chicken recipe, and I basically make this recipe every day. So it's nothing special. I've been eating raw meat for about 6 years now. It's only been the last year or two I've been really actually trying to make some nice recipes. Like, eating it plain is not that enjoyable. Well, the reason I eat raw is because I follow the Primal diet, and my nutritionist, Agenis of Under Planets, teaches that cooking damages the nutrients in your food and creates deficiencies and diseases. That eating raw food is superior. And so really, the whole bacteria thing, it's just fear-mongering from the pharmaceutical industry in order to make you buy medication and cook your food so that you're deficient and dependent on pharmaceutical medication because you're going to believe that the solution to your health is actually bad.
Okay, so I thought it was just like a raw chicken recipe. I was just like I thought he was just gonna tell us like what he adds, like, and you know, and then he started to talk about how cooking food is it's gonna make you sick, and it's gonna make you lack nutrients. And I don't know if he knows this, but when you cook stuff, it doesn't just evaporate away. It just gets stuck inside the pan or whatever you're cooking. The only thing that ever evaporates is the water in it. And I am just like, how do you think, like, and the whole, like, obviously, you know, he doesn't just eat raw meat, and for I don't even know at this point, like, he started talking about like pharmacy and how they their tactic is that so that you consume more of their stuff and, you know, they get money. And I'm not knowledgeable enough to get into that because yet again, it's a deep dive. I'm not saying that I'm not saying he's wrong, because I do think like in some pharmacy or companies or for example like our food, our diet, for example, like they can often make us feel like we need that certain thing. Like, for example, like trying to go on a diet, you need to like buy all these things in order to lose weight, even though you don't actually need it. They just like promote it in a way that makes you feel like you need it. I do believe that in some companies they do make it seem like you need this. You know, in the same way as food or in diet, it's the same way with medicine and stuff like that. It might make you feel like you need to take this in order to feel good. I'm not saying he's wrong in that, but I think he's using it in a way that benefit his like perspective, in a way like I eat raw meat because I'm like rebelling against the pharmacy and the medicine industry, which I think is like wrong, because, you know, you don't want to get sick and then like be like, oh, I don't want to go to hospital because I don't believe in that stuff. It's not just the food diet that is the issue, like eating raw meat, fermented meat, but it is also his perspective on the medicine industry and how he doesn't believe that they are actually helping. It's quite damaging to that industry, and it can like influence people to not go to the hospital, foreshadowing Lila. And he also said that he's been doing this for like couple years, so 6 years. He's playing with his life. All right, so now we are going to get into the fermented meat. And this is where I'm gonna be warning you if you're grossly triggered. Or grossly triggered, I don't even know if that's a word, but if you get triggered easily with gross stuff, yeah, time to go.
This beef has been fermenting for about 4 months. It's called high meat. When you ferment it like this, the bacteria breaks it down to where it feeds the brain and nervous system like nothing else. When I was at my lowest point, the most depressed, high meat made it possible for me to be happy again. Like, if this was in a video game, it would be patched immediately because it's such an unfair advantage. Like, it's absolutely life-changing, and it's like a super boost for your digestion.
First of all, we have to talk for 4 months. Months? You know, like... Oh. And the thing is, he also linked it to depression. And this is something I see with these kind of people do all the time. They're bringing like their depression, they're bringing the medicine industry. Like, it's not just food at this point. It's like entire lifestyle, an entire different perspective on things. For him, like battling depression, it wasn't him like healing himself, like finding. For myself, for example, when I got like depressive state, I've tried to resolve the issue. I'm trying to understand myself. I'm trying to understand like, why am I like this, like what is going on, and then try to resolve it. His way of solving things is eating this high meat, because it gives him a feeling he never quite felt before. And there's some talk about like high meat does give you some sort of like not like hallucination, but kind of gives you like that kick. That feeling might just been from, you know, it being raw, and it's not something you're supposed to eat, and your body starts to like physically react because it's like it's bacteria, you know what I mean? I want to read his comic caption, because not only does he say that this helped his depression, but he also says that he had tried to quit smoking for years, and when he started eating this every day, he was able to quit. And he also heard that multiple reports that it actually reprograms your taste buds. He also heard it cures people's anxiety. It's opened minds like psychedelics and shown them the deception of society by giving their brain the nutrients necessary for critical thinking. Told me that they could eat all junk food that they wanted without digestive issues for 2 weeks after one teaspoon. A meth addict experienced psychosis told me 2 days later that it cured her psychosis. Years later, she told me she thought about it all the time and always wished she could have it again because how much that spoonful helped her. It inspires people. It gives people depression the will to live. So not only is it depression that helped him cure his depression, but it also helped him quit smoking. And I completely like, congratulations for like quitting smoke. I know how difficult it is to quit smoking. I was there, and I don't think it was high meat that made you quit smoking, but I'm glad that it made you quit smoking. And it says multiple reports that reprograms your taste buds. I would like to know what you mean by reprogramming your taste buds. Do you mean like it makes it so you taste more, or rearrange your taste buds? Like, I don't really know what you're trying to imply here. Like, are you trying to say like everything tastes better with high meat because it reprograms your taste buds? And he also said it cures people's anxiety. And here's the thing with I believe that there's no like right and wrong answers on like what cured people's anxiety, because anxiety and like depression is very, very common. different things makes it so that you feel like you cured your anxiety, depression. It's not always just one thing that led you to get better. And so I have a hard time believing that it cured people's anxiety, because sometimes it has like a placebo effect where you believe that this is the cure for your depression, your anxiety, and your brain tricks you into believing in it when it actually just hurting you. The same way as like people getting I don't know if you guys seen this documentary, but there's a lot of documentaries about countries that use healing, like spiritual healing for a cancer patient, and cancer patients feels way better. Like they feel like the cancer is cured, and they don't go to the hospitals anymore because they feel so cured. But that's just the brain thinking so, because they truly believed in it. But then later they died because it's not scientific. It's here. Like your brain might believe that you cured whatever you had, but inside it might not, so I have a hard time believing in it, because you can say that it helped, but there's no actual proof. And he says like it is also helped people to have more critical thinking, and I'm just like, you don't need that to have critical thinking. Critical thinking is it's actually a scientific thing, like critical thinking of I read books about this and I studied this, but critical thinking, you don't need high meat for it. You can read about it. Critical thinking just means to be more be more skeptical of the information you're being given, no matter who it is. And it can come from people who and it can come from social media. It can come from all sort of information like you receive. And the questions that critical thinking is a method. It's a method of questioning the questions you're getting. Like, for example, why are they giving you this information? How are they giving you this information? What benefits do you get and do they get? Why they give you this information? Are they trying to sell you something? Are they trying to make you think differently? Like critical thinking, you don't need high meat for that. It's just a method or way of being skeptic and using it to have like to understand more like what information you're given, and be able to eat all the junk food that they wanted without digestive issues for 2 weeks after 1 tablespoon. It could have various reasons why they could do that. It could be because of their body, because they're used to it, or because they truly believed in it, and in that it made them believe that it was that way. The reason why I don't believe him in this way is because like he is promoting high meat to people, like this audience of his, on why they should eat high meat. Like the reason why he is writing all of this is just, if we're thinking critically, the reason why he does this is to make people fall into this diet or food style, and he's giving them reasons why to. He doesn't really talk about the bad about the diet, because it's the same way as, like, I'm not saying high meat is the only issue. I'm saying that in all like the diet food I've seen, like veganism, vegan, raw food, like they promote food usually to sell you things, usually to make you want to go into this lifestyle, and that's the way to promote it. But they never talk about like the bad stuff about their diet, like for example how if you don't eat like, take for example vegan diet or vegan lifestyle, if you don't eat a right amount or enough to replace the meat and stuff, you're gonna have like digestive issues. You're gonna have problems like gaining weight, and you're gonna have problems with bloating even, like and it's a side like people don't really talk about when they're promoting this kind of like diet, no matter what it is, no matter what food style it is. When it is an extreme food style, they only talk about the beneficial reasons, but I have never seen them talk about the bad reasons too. And he is like doing it right now in front of me, and I'm just like, why people fall for this? And the reason why people fall for this, you know, you would think, like for me, for example, saying, why would people fall for this? Like, this is bullshit. This is bullcrap. It is like I said about the cancer patient that did spiritual healing. It is desperation. It is the desperation of maybe people like who in this case are like big smokers, or are in a big depression, or are like not doing well in their life, and they're getting like desperate to be better or to quit something. And this is one of the ways that he gives them a solution of. Same way as like a cancer patient has been in hospital for many years and haven't been cured, or you know, feel like crap in hospitals. They want to find other solutions to their problem, and then spiritual healing was one of it. And then they try it, and then placebo effect happens, and they feel like they're doing great, and then they are not. It is taking advantage of the desperate people, because with all the things he's saying in his caption, it is targeted towards those people, like reasons why they should try it. And it's just so dangerous. It's so dangerous. Like but let's not go down there, and let's just go in a more like happier side. I don't, it's not happier side, but the more disgusting side that you probably want to see, and I want to see, because it's quite interesting but disturbing. 2 weeks old fermented liver.
Fermented liver, about 2 weeks old, fermenting at room temperature.
I physically felt that, and I did not like that feeling.
Oh, it's pretty sour, but it's actually really nice. Yeah, it's really good. So you ferment the meat, it grows the bacteria. The bacteria makes you high. It's called high meat.
Apparently one of his videos he ate raw pork, and I'll be honest, a lot of his videos are like raw meat, so it doesn't really matter like what meat he eats, because you know, raw meat is still bad at the end of the day. But apparently he ate raw pork, and he wanted to talk, like explain why he eats raw pork. Yeah.
When I made the video eating the fermented pork, and people are talking about botulism and all this bacteria, and I reply that it's fake science. But what I'm referring to is all this is perpetuating the idea of germ theory. All of you guys are telling me that I'm gonna be getting sick when I've been eating this for years. If you are the supposed experts because you've heard of some mainstream science, well, why am I not sick then? Because I'm somehow special? I used to convince random people off Snapchat to eat high meat. People who have never heard of the Primal diet, and people don't get sick. If they eat it twice in the same week and they're not used to it, they may get a little bit of a cold. Because when you introduce that concentration of bacteria, it starts dissolving toxins. And that's what a cold is. That's what a flu is. And the reason the pharmaceutical industry wants to perpetrate the idea of germ theory is because they want you to live in fear, think that the things are healthy or unhealthy. That way you run to the pharmaceutical profession, get your antibiotics, and you process all of your food. And then you comment on people's videos like mine because you're like Agent Smith in the Matrix, defending the Matrix, the prison you don't even know you live in. And then you're gonna think that I'm the fool, when in reality, you're the fool.
Okay, so one of the most common thing that I see with these people, like these creators that does any sort of diet, not just high meat, but veganism, raw food, whatever, you know the whole deal, is the the fool is you and not me. You're believing the system, and you are believing in the medicine. You're not thinking for yourself, and you're like, if I've been doing this for so many years and I haven't gotten sick, then there's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. And the reason why you haven't done it is because you're afraid, and you're just afraid of a little bit of flu, and you're afraid of the other side, right? This narrative of like us versus them is such a common thing that I see. It's like, you're the fool, like you're the fool that can't see from our side. And it's just like, come on, man. Like, I see it so much, and it's a sort of like reflection, like not reflection but projection back to them group that is disagreeing with you, that, oh, you are wrong, and in that way they can like continue to do whatever they're doing, because if you have a us them mentality, it's going to be like, oh, you don't understand what we're doing, oh, you just don't understand why we do this, you don't understand the benefits of it, and you only believe in whatever like science or fake science are saying. And even if he's saying like fake science, what the hell does fake science even mean in that term? Because I'll be honest with you, I don't think he understands what science or laboratory or their way of proving things, what it means. Because I read into these kind of stuff, like, I'm into, I had done laboratory stuff, whatever the hell. It is not just words, it's, when you get into deep of it, like, science is having a hypothesis, what is it called? Hypothesis, and then conducting an experiment, and then based on that experiment, you will get your results, which you discuss later on. And it's a physical and a real thing that they experiment on in order to prove a point or to prove something. And when science, like a scientific report on it, is so you can create it yourself, or if you can try, but there's like whatever it is, to make sure that people can repeat that method again and again to make sure that this is a proven fact. So science isn't just somebody say so or whatever. It's a experiment that has been done over and over and over again, and has shown the same result over and over again. And when whatever he mean with fake science, I don't understand, because that's what science is for me, because that's what I've been studying and what I've been doing. It's not just like, oh, a person said so. And the thing is, that making no sense too, because he's listening to somebody, right? He said that guy's name, I don't remember his name, okay? He said that he only listened to him. What difference does it make if somebody decides to listen to a science person and him listening to this person? Because at the end of the day, they're still getting information from somebody else, and they're still, basing their life on that information. When he says like he's been doing this for so many years and it has worked, it doesn't mean that it's going to work for everybody, and it does not mean that something is not wrong in the body. Just because your body can endure that sort of lifestyle for so many years does not mean that you're healthy in any way. People who are, okay, for example, people who eat unhealthy stuff like fast food every day, they're not dead. They're still living, and they feel like this is like their way of living because they're happy and they feel better because they like to eat food and they're getting more fat. But being like, even if like, what does fat have to do with anything? But you know what I mean? Like, even if you maybe can't see the physical, what's it called? Even if you can't see the physical stuff with what you're doing, does not mean that your body is not being harmed in any way. And the reason why I brought in fat is because one of the signs for unhealthy eating is fat. And if you look at this man, you might not be able to see any sort of like a lot of fat or whatever, but there's other symptoms and other signs that we might not be seeing physically that is actually like happening that he's not telling. Like for like I said, like vegan people who has like digestive issues because they're not eating the nutrients that they need in order for their guts to feel good. And with unhealthy people, they might not have fat even. There is fast metabolistic people who eat a lot of junk food and they're skinny as hell, and they are still like living and claiming that they're like nothing bad happened to them, and they've been eating like this for so many years. Eating something for so many years doesn't make it right, doesn't mean that it's the right of living, doesn't mean that it's good for you. Your body just been able to endure it for so many years, the same way as we eat unhealthy food. It might not be able to show it physically, but it still happens. If you were to go to hospitals and get checked on it, you're probably going to be able to see it. But you know, taking somebody's words for it, it's kind of bullshit. Like you have to get tested, and we obviously know that he's not going to do that because he doesn't believe in that system. Now we talked a little bit about Scott, but we haven't really dove into Layla. I don't know her name again. Layla, I think it is, which is his girlfriend that has gone into the high meat and raw meat, and she actually got something from it. And in this situation, it's so...
Hello. I love all of you. And here I am in Florida, just visiting Scott for a little bit. And we are downing some tomatoes, and soon after, some raw meat, just down the hatch, just like that. Alrighty, well, enjoy this video.
You like it better with the ingredients versus plain?
Oh yeah, it's much better with the avocado and the
tomato and
onion.
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna... I regret seeing these videos, but we're gonna see more rotten meat.
How is it?
You gotta swallow it, stick out your tongue for the camera.
I'm still working on it.
You just gotta force it down. Take your swallow muscles.
Nasty, but
I don't even know at this point what to say, because like, again, like I said, heal depression. I'm not gonna go into that discussion again, but just okay. And you know what? Okay. There's a reason why our reflex doesn't want to swallow something, because usually it means like it's not good for you. The only time I believe you will have to like actually like force yourself to swallow, it is like pills or like medicine, like when you get sick and stuff. It's kind of like you just have to get, in order to get better. But if when it comes to food, like I find it weird if if you can't swallow the food, then probably it's not meant to be eaten. Alright, so now we're gonna get into when she got the meningitis, and we're gonna go deep and more into what that is. But she got it after, visiting Scott, so what a crazy coincidence it is that you got it,
I survived meningitis. But hang on. Not only did I survive meningitis, I did it without taking any medications. That includes painkillers or antibiotics. I never even dared to go to the hospital. Not only that, but I only consumed raw foods while I had it. And by raw foods, I don't mean vegetables or fruits. I mean raw pork. Yes, raw pork. As well as raw eggs, raw milk, raw butter and honey, and raw swordfish. How do I know that I had meningitis? Well, I'll show you. The symptoms of meningitis include fluctuating high fever, chills, headache, stiff neck, nausea, vomiting, drowsiness, short-term memory loss, debilitation to the point of being bedridden, pneumonia-like symptoms, temporary, excruciatingly crippling pain in the back and or the legs, and rarely coma. Now I'm gonna highlight the symptoms I had. As you can see, I had all but 2 symptoms, vomiting and coma. Additionally, it was impossible for me to remember anything from a conversation because I couldn't think. And you can see the bonus symptoms I had.
So, first of all, she said that she got meningitis, but she didn't really go to hospital. She only showcased like what symptoms she had, and it's kind of unreliable at this point if she didn't go to hospital, if she actually has it or not. And just self-diagnosing yourself isn't the way to go. So meningitis is an infection of the membrane that protects the spinal cord and brain. When the membranes become infected, they swell up and press on the spinal cord or brain. This can cause life-threatening problems. Can a person survive meningitis? Yes, you can survive most forms of meningitis, though it's a very serious illness and requires immediate treatment. The survival rate for bacterial meningitis is mostly deadly of the common form of meningitis, about 90%, while Aguilera foliary infections are extremely rare. Few people survive endemic meningitis. I don't even need to go to the deep dive into this and tell you how bullshit this is. No. You cannot self-diagnose yourself like that. And I don't know if you have meningitis or not, but if it was meningitis, it seems like a very life-threatening issue and you need treatment for that. You can't just like self-heal. As a bonus clip, for staying this long, you will see raw meat with flies. Like he just lets flies inside. Look.
I'm trying to see if I can grow maggots on this meat so I can eat it for you guys, just to freak you out.
He only does it to freak us out, guys. That's and in his caption it goes, "Follow for more tips." This guy is full of sarcasm. Like I can see that sometimes he over dramatize something or to kind of rage bait people so that he get more views and more likes and people see it. I get it. It's an entire social media thing, But not only does he do that, but he's like risking people's life for this lifestyle and telling people how medicine and hospitals are a lie and how this is supposed to heal your anxiety, make you more open-minded or have more critical thinking, help you cure your anxiety. It's a lot of bull crap. He's not the only one that I've seen in these, like in all sort of diet or any food style that I see. It's kind of like it's a very common thing to talk about these kind of things. Like, it healed me, like my depression, my anxiety, and whatever. And it saddens me in a way that this is like using like desperate people who wants to find different solutions to their problem instead of like kind of like head on in a way. If we might not have to take like extreme level like cancer, but let's take like depression, for example. Instead of giving people the solution of like what I did, where I started to analyze myself and started to come to term, but whatever the hell I'm trying to like not speak anymore. Okay, I'm just gonna talk. Instead of analyzing yourself and finding the issue and trying to solve it, or for example, the way that I help my depression is never cured. Depression is a state where you feel like life is not worth living. In a more simpler term, of course. The way I found myself healing from being that state, it is to go out. And for some people it might be like, all right, this is like about a lot of bullshit, but it is actually healing in a way that it makes you appreciate a bit of life again. Staying in your room for days, weeks, months, years is not really gonna help your depression. It's actually gonna make it worse. But just going out, just look around. I recommend like nature, look at flowers. You start to appreciate the small stuff, or start connecting with friends, start making friends, start making it so that you kind of want to live, like find reasons to want to live. It's the way I'm trying to say. His solution for depression is, if you eat high meat, you're going to feel better, and it's gonna help you cure your depression, which is a lot of bullshit, because not only are you risking your life for high meat, but it's not gonna fix everything. Like, high meat isn't just like a quick solution, like diet, for example, like fast diet, where they're like, oh, if you eat this pill, if you take this, then you're gonna lose weight. It's not as easy as that. It's about in order to lose weight, you have to like change your lifestyle, like exercise, eat well, and be consistent. It is not just a one quick solution like high meat is. It's not just like eat high meat and cure your depression. Like, there's a lot of different things you have to do in order to like reduce your depression. Like I said, make friends, find some friends, build connection, go out, find hobbies, like something to connect you with the world, basically. And there's so many different ways. It's just so fucking it makes me sick, because it's this kind of like quick solution things that it makes me sick to my stomach, because seeing all this like documentation about cancer patient or diets or raw food or whatever, it's the same thing over and over again. It's the same mentality, it's the same people that are being tricked into this. Like, most often they have like a book that they sell, or like an online course that they sell, they want you to buy. And it's so freaking unfortunate that this is like their way of like getting money and living life. I just can't, like, I just can't. Like, the reason why I don't watch these kind of videos anymore is because it hurts my fucking soul, because I know that there are people here, his audience, that's being influenced and then trying high meat and eating raw food and eating raw meat and eating raw milk, and think that they feel better, and then they get sick and then they don't want to go to hospitals, and they might, get worse just because it worked for him, like, because he'd done so many years. Like I said, does not mean that it was like a good thing. Like, same way as just because somebody's skinny and feels all right after eating so much unhealthy food doesn't mean that their body's doing good. You can't tell if you don't do an entire scan, entire, like, testing, and obviously he's not going to do that, because for him it's I don't like. Anyhow, don't do this. I'm sorry that I got really, like, quite depressive, not depressive, but like quite sad. It's just that I just can't deal with this kind of stuff. Like, I can't watch, and I can't just watch this and not see the audience and what effect it has on people like this and what they're trying to do. Like, I just can't. I can't be that creator who just watch it and be like, oh, it's so gross, so disgusting. It is, but there's like underlying reasons why they do it. There's underlying like effect it has on people that I just can't ignore, and I'm so much more focused on that than just like, oh, raw food. It's disgusting. It is really disgusting. Like, I do feel it, but like, bringing people into this, like different people in his area to try raw meat, hive meat, whatever the hell, it's just like, don't do it. Like, don't like, if you do it to yourself, that's fine, like, it's your life. But doing it to other people and they're getting something, and in this case Lila said she has like meningitis, even if it's true or not, it doesn't matter, because she did in a way felt like a flu or something, and that's bad. Just don't do this. Don't do this, all right? There's other ways. There's no quick ways to heal something. There's no quick ways to become better. There's no quick way to quit something. You have to go on the rough way, and if the rough way is to do things you never really wanted to do, that's the way. Don't do it, all right? Don't do it. Goodbye.